Hey, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Dr. Ariel Hammond, and this is the Enrichment Entrepreneur, a podcast for current and aspiring entrepreneurs who are in the business of helping kids thrive. We're talking after-school programs, summer camps, tutoring, enrichment, the people and places that show up for kids outside the classroom. I'm still building right alongside you, and that's exactly why we're here, to learn, grow, and figure this out together.
Let's go!
Welcome back. I'm your host, Ariel, and this is another episode of the Enrichment Entrepreneur. Today, we are going to review a list of 10 registration platforms for after-school programs. These are the most popular. I'll go over pros, cons, who it works well for, and who may find some complications with each platform. And so the more you know, you can make more informed decisions what platform you want to use for your business. So first platform, Sawyer. I heard of Sawyer like immediately when I got into this business, but it was a bit limited for what I needed. But Sawyer is the veteran in the game, and they have online registration. They take a pretty sizable chunk of that registration, payment processing, roster management. You can enable wait lists, parent messaging, attendance, and marketplace discovery. So the marketplace aspect can be a pro and a con, since providers that go onto Sawyer for registration, they can also be discoverable for different potential customers. So that is an opportunity to increase visibility and to potentially get more registrations than they otherwise would have had. But there is a higher percentage charged for that marketplace capability. So other pros, it's very purpose built for kids enrichment and kids activities. They have a pretty decent parent-facing experience, low friction, easy to register for parents, and they have payment plans, discounts, those types of functionalities enabled. And they also, I've heard that they have stronger onboarding support for customers. So that's cool. And they help you build your first schedule for free. Some cons here are the admin side lags behind the parent experience. So Sawyer is really optimized for parents to have the most benefit from the platform. The functionality for the businesses that provide the kids activities, those are more of secondary features, more of an afterthought, but their primary customer is the parent, and they want to keep parents on their marketplace and signing up for more and more programs. So they make sure to prioritize that experience, which is good for the parents who are our customers. But yeah. So also instructor payroll capacities there are absent, and instructor management is also not there. So if you do have a team beyond yourself, then you'll still have to use another platform for that. Gift cards or those types of functions aren't there. The reporting has accuracy bugs, class by class, export only. You can't export your entire roster for a term of programs, for example. There are no school partner specific portal or communication layers. So it really works solely for those who have parents as their paying customers and do not have school partnerships to navigate. And if you do have that, then you have to plan for that and use different systems outside of Sawyer for that. And the attendance is only viewable for one student at a time. And the transaction fee, that's a big one. So the transaction fee stacks on top of the monthly plan, and it's some of the highest transaction rates. So Sawyer per month starts at $99 per month all the way to $209 a month, and a 2.95% transaction fee on each transaction. So I would see this working well for a single operator who they have less than 10 sites, ideally one site operator. They need a good registration experience, frictionless for parents, and they want to stay squarely in that enrichment lane. I don't think it's the best fit for like a business like mine, a mobile enrichment business, multi-site operators, and operators with teams. So if you're running payroll, this probably isn't your all-in-one solution. So the bottom line for Sawyer is it's the most common starting point in this market, and it's a solid entry. So who it works well for are those people who are just getting started, and it's a decent place to land. So next up, we have Jumbala. I'm just going to guess there. Jumbala starts at $99 a month. It has participant-based tiers, and it also has transaction fees on top of that. Has a solid base of features, over 150 features. The ability to customize, strong parent registration, school side experiences is still a friction point. So it offers, like I said, online registration, customizable forms, payment processing, attendance via a mobile app, getting better there, recurring billing, waitlist management, email and SMS campaigns, and a website builder. So who this works well for, before I get into the pros and cons, I think Jumbala works well for small to mid-size organizations. So if you have between 1 to 50 employees, if you're running camps, after school programs, sports leagues that need really highly customizable registration forms and solid billing automations. Who I don't think it would be the best for would be those operators who are running those multi-site programs where school side communication, partner communication is essential, where you need class lists and attendance management in your daily workflows. So the school usage side would seem to break down pretty fast there. The pros of this platform would be highly customizable registration forms. Like I said, over 150 customization options for the forms. And that's more flexibility than I've found anywhere else. The recurring billing and automated payment reminders, that's going to save you some admin time, prevent you from running after registration and program fees. The mobile attendance app, that's nice. A lot of platforms don't have that. Text campaigns are really effective if used in such a way. So the ability to integrate there and to have email campaigns as well, that helps a lot of small enrichment businesses get well on our way down the lane of marketing and CRM, customer relationship management. And they have a free trial available. So, it's free to try it out. And a no-code website builder included, which you can find everywhere nowadays, but it's cool that they offer that. Some cons, as I've alluded to, would be the lack of school and partner facing usage after registration, described by some operators as a nightmare in their reviews. Customer support says our app doesn't support that frequently once operators go beyond basic registration. So that has been reported by some users, and some users have reported there being a steep learning curve on the admin side, despite the parent user interface not having that same perceived difficulty. The pricing language can be a bit confusing. Some operators report the fees are actually higher than they anticipated, and the transaction fees stacking on top of your monthly plan. Overall, families seem to love it, and operators hit a wall. So this experience is optimized for the paying families to have the best experience. So this would be a great fit for you if your primary need is a polished registration and payment intake. But if you're trying to run day-to-day operations across different sites, across several instructors, a team, I think you're going to find yourself working around it more than within it. All right, next up, we have CoreStorm. I haven't heard of CoreStorm before my research for this. Just got to keep it real with you. Maybe you've heard of it. I haven't. So CoreStorm has pay-as-you-go from 2% plus a $2.49 per registration fee. So they take a percentage plus a $2.49, or $169 to $399 a month flat fee. They offer online registration, payment processing, automated email marketing, wait lists, rosters, promo codes, payment plans, and AI powered, given a and AI powered reporting. So yeah, that sounds good. The pros here, they're known to be the easiest to set up on the market. You can get your classes live in minutes, or that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm reading. No one's talked to me about this. I'm just reading. Okay. Pay as you go model. It's great for low volume, or if you're very seasonal, maybe you just do camps, then that works well for you. You don't want to have to pay 12 months and you only teach camps 2 months out of the year. So that model works really well for those who aren't year round. The built-in automated email marketing. Also, you can easily enable like abandoned cart messages, low enrollment alerts, no long-term contracts, and highly rated customer support. So, boom, that's nice. Cons would be there is no attendance tracking. So, and that would be a real gap for any site-based or school-based operator. So if you're going to community centers, parks and rec centers, parks, schools, you have to know, like, where's a list of kids who should be here at all times. And that's especially imperative if you have a team. Zero brand control outside of adding your own logo. So everything is Core Storm branded. Refund handling has been known to be clunky, with some operators flagging bugs and inaccurate reporting. And at 2% of the transaction being their fee plus $2.49 on top of that per registration, those costs climb higher at higher volume. And there's no instructor management or school partner communication layer there. And one reviewer noted, I quote, "You could do this with the Google form and Venmo and save yourself the fee." So who does this work well for? Early stage operators who need to get paid registration up and going. This is known as the lowest friction option. So, know yourself. If you're like, with new tech, then maybe you work with this and you're just getting started. And it might not be the right fit for you if you're an operator, again, running multiple sites, someone with a business where you need attendance lists to your team or for yourself when you're not in your own facility, when you have instructors that you need to coordinate with and pay and manage and assign schedules and all those things, or you need like a real operational back end. So beyond a Google form and Venmo. So yeah, so it's a great place to start. Our fourth option, Jackrabbit class. So the fees for Jackrabbit start at $49 a month, and it scales by active students, and they have 4 tiers overall. They're known as having strong class management backbone for their platform, and they're built for gyms, dance studios, swim schools. So yeah, cool option for you guys out there and gals. They have online registration, billing and automated tuition, attendance tracking, skill tracking, staffing, a staff portal, and time clock. Getting some staff integrations here, parent portal, QuickBooks integration, and they offer a 90-day free trial. So that's solid. So some pros for Jackrabbit would be a proven class management system for studio-based businesses. They have automated billing. It's well built. It's known to be very reliable. They have a staff portal with time clock to help manage instructors, and especially those who work hourly. They have skill tracking built in, so that is great for gymnastics, swim, martial arts. They have a 90-day free trial, and they serve over 12,000 schools. Not schools. They serve over 12,000 sites, businesses globally. That's a lot. And yeah, the QuickBooks integration sounds pretty solid if you use QuickBooks. And if you don't, maybe you're starting, you're really small, very quickly you will have to. Your accountant will likely use QuickBooks and then have you use QuickBooks so they can reconcile your books and file your taxes and stuff like that. That's the only reason I use QuickBooks, because my accountant says I have to use QuickBooks. Cons. So some cons listed by users are that they're designed more around that single location studio model. Um, and really, like most of the cons here are just they're really great at who they're designed for. Like their primary user, they're very intentional and specific around designing for that user. And then if you're not that user, well, it might not work as well for you. So it's not really, these aren't really cons, but we'll just say that for this sake. But just know it's not. I don't like dragging down anybody's business. I'm not here to drag anybody. I don't want to be dragged out here. And I don't want to drag someone else. So I'm not RuPaul. I'm not here to drag. Okay. Cons. Skill tracking is built for sports progressions, not necessarily different enrichment program types. The price scales up significantly as student count grows, and the UI can feel a little bit dated for operators who are used to more modern SaaS platforms and visibility. So I already mentioned who it would work well for if you're studio based, and it would not be the best fit if you are maybe more mobile and you're not studio based. So, hey, bottom line, it's excellent if you run a studio. Even if you're just starting, might want to start there. All right. Number 5, Activity Hero. I had my business on Activity Hero, but in the Portland metro where I'm at, there wasn't a lot of action on Activity Hero. So it did feel like a big waste of time for me. Um, Activity Hero is registration software, and they also have the marketplace, and their pricing is quote based. So they are more of that hybrid, like Sawyer. It's known, or the goal is for it to be that, for parents to come to Activity Hero and find different activities for their kids. So the idea is on there, you will be seen by more parents than you would have otherwise if you just like posted your programs on, I don't know, a local community newspaper or guide, family guide or something like that, or on your own website. Um, but what I found was, yeah, I tracked how many site visits, what action did we get from Activity Hero. It took quite a bit of time to set it up, and none, if I remember correctly, none came from Activity Hero. The volume wasn't there, and that's a difficult part about marketplaces in general. It takes a lot to get it to critical capacity. And the fees that were charged, as I remember, were like pretty high, like over 20%, maybe 30% or something like that. And so then we had to like raise the prices, and that seemed less accessible. So didn't work for us. Activity Hero offers online registration, parent and family discovery marketplace, a mobile attendance, and offline compatible uh, functionality, integrations with Power School and other apps, sliding scale or lottery enrollment, multilingual support. Cool. Some pros of Activity Hero. They report having 6.5 million plus annual page views. So there seems to be, quite a bit of parent discovery traffic there. Again, that hasn't been my experience in page views. It's a national platform. So yeah, school district integrations with Synergy, Power School. I used Synergy when I was working in schools. Offline capable mobile attendants. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, I don't know why not I randomly, but I just thought of like a camp guide at a park and kids like discovering different types of leaves. Compliance reporting. So if you are a recipient of federal, state education grants, then this will be a program that's a platform that would be approved for you to use, depending on what funding you have. So there's an option there for nonprofit and school district integrations. sliding scale pricing, and a dedicated account manager on most plans. And the cons would be the pricing is very opaque, so it's not very clear. The quote only, I mean, that kind of tells you what type of volume they're dealing with, like more so systems, organizations versus independently owned small for-profit businesses. Maybe not as much built for that. Um, and the feature set, therefore, is deeper for school district and school buyers than for independent operators. The marketplace listing is very California heavy. So outside of California, you may have that experience that I had. And there's no instructor pay or payroll management. So yeah, if you are an enrichment operator working directly with school districts, maybe a service contract, something there, you need some government compliance reporting, might be a good fit for you. If you're in California, might be a good fit for you. Not the right fit if you have a business like mine, independently owned, enrichment businesses operating multiple sites, that type of, and you see this is like a trend overall. Like, okay, they're platforms made for a lot of different type of businesses, but this kind, the independently owned mobile enrichment business, we haven't come across something made for that type of business yet. Quick break. I'm building NROPS, an all-in-one operations platform built specifically for kids enrichment entrepreneurs and operators. I built it because I needed it. Go to getenrops.com to learn more and get on the list. Okay, back to the episode. All right, so number 6. iClass Pro. Why is this ringing a bell? I think this is ringing a bell because one of my children must have had a program and I had to use iClass Pro as a parent. So flat rate pricing, you receive a custom quote by student volume. It's a class management tool known to have stronger automations, online registration, class scheduling, automated billing, attendance tracking, skill tracking, certificates, a parent portal, staff time clocking, and a custom mobile app. So those would be some of the pros there. And some cons would be the reporting has been described by some users as confusing, inflexible, slow. That's been a pretty consistent complaint. The payment processing setup is complicated. Frequent issues with integration and deposit timing have been reported. The interface is reported to feel dated compared to more modern SaaS products. And it's not built for programs at school sites. It's better for when students are coming to you. And users have cited high credit card processing fees as a recurring complaint. And the first line support can feel rigid or scripted. So this works well for mid-size class-based businesses. So gymnastics, swim, dance, cheer, martial arts, with predictable schedules, reoccurring billing needs, and students who come to a fixed location. And it might not be the right fit for you if you run a mobile enrichment business, if you are operating at multiple sites. And it's also not ideal for operators who need clean, modern financial reporting. Now we're on to number 7, Amelia Smart Rec. So Amelia starts at $99 a month and scales by plan and features. It's more of community parks and rec center management. And it can feel like overkill for independent enrichment operators. It offers online registration, membership management, facility booking, payment processing, staff scheduling, activity reporting, analytics, mass emails, marketplace, and discovery. So for the pros, it is one of those feature complete platforms in this list. It's known to have an excellent onboarding experience, strong ongoing customer support, automatic payments, waitlist management, saves time, staff scheduling built in. And it's good for organizations that are managing multiple program types under one roof. So if people are coming to you, renting out your space, this is the only one we've come across so far that has that specific functionality. Cons listed by some users, the learning curve. It takes time to configure before it runs smoothly, so it is an investment. It's designed for community recreation centers versus school-based sites or independently owned brick and mortar enrichment businesses. The facility booking layer adds complexity that most enrichment operators don't need. There is a limited website layout options, and the pricing isn't fully transparent if you do need that before you get started. And so we've already mentioned who it works well for: recreation departments, community centers, YMCAs, multi-program organizations that manage facilities and programming and need a single system for all of it. So that's who they're designed for. And of course, it's not probably the best place to start for you if you're an independent enrichment operator and you don't manage your own facilities. Number 8, RegPack. So RegPack starts at $125 a month, billed annually, and it scales with registration value. If you're just getting started and you did the math, $125 a month billed annually might be too rich for your blood. I don't know your pockets. I'm not pocket watching. If you're just getting started, it's a hefty investment. So it's the most powerful registration logic engine in the list. I don't even know what that means. And it has deep form customization and automation. It is not built for enrichment operations. So conditional logic forms, automated enrollment workflows. It has group and family registration, flexible payment plans, e-signatures, CRM and participant tracking, and real-time reporting. So other pros include that it has a strong CRM layer for tracking participants over time. It's trusted by 7,000 organizations. So, it has some traction, some history behind it. It's good for multi-step applications with different requirements per registrant. So it's really good for if you have complex intake processes for your business. Cons, there's a significant learning curve. I mean, you're putting a significant investment in this platform financially to start using it. And that is also aligned with just getting up and running. You're putting some bandwidth into learning it. Operators report needing weeks to configure properly. The payment options have been described as restrictive and confusing for some end users. It does not have attendance tracking, which is a major gap for school site operators or mobile operators in general. It's not built around enrichment business models, so it can feel more like generic event registration. Users have reported glitching for complex program setups. So it works well for those of us with programs that have complex registrations. So if you have lots of different forms, if you need those live e-signatures, those things like that, it's great for conferences, for, maybe like camps where sleepaway camps, that's what it's called. I never went to one. Non-standard enrollment. And it's not great for the flip side of that, the inverse, enrichment operators who need operational tools beyond intake. All right. So, yep, it's a powerful intake tool, not an operations platform. Next, MindBody. So MindBody starts at $139 up to $699 per month, plus a 2.75% transaction fee. And it is very common for operators to enter into annual contracts. So MindBody is the dominant platform for fitness and wellness studios. It's not designed for kids enrichment, but some people still use it. And yeah, but if frequently appears in searches, if you look for, kids enrichment platform, you might come across MindBody. So it has class scheduling, payment processing, marketing automation, a branded mobile app, consumer marketplace with 3.5 million users. Now, of course, most of those are people looking for, their next yoga class, and staff management. So the pros additionally would be, it's the largest consumer marketplace in the fitness space, 3.5 million monthly users. It is very comprehensive in its offerings for fitness studios, including scheduling, point of sale POS, marketing, branded app, strong reporting and analytics at the upper tiers. It is well integrated with ClassPass, Google Reserve, and other fitness aggregators. and it has over 20 years of development. So they've dealt with the full gamut of the different needs of the fitness studio industry. So they're solid in serving that group. And the cons would be, of course, that they're not built for kids enrichment programs. And it's pretty expensive for this type of business. The volume, just the revenue volume of a typical like fitness studio versus a small kids enrichment business, it's very different. So $139 to $699 per month plus 2.79% per transaction, um, you know, might not be accessible for most of us. So yeah, works well for you if you are a boutique fitness studio, and it does not if you're not. Okay, and number 10, the honorable mention. Enrops, I'm kidding. I'm gonna get there though. Number 10 is Google Forms. Google Forms and Square. Most people have used. Someone even put it in their review of another platform. Google Forms and Square. Google Forms and Venmo. People use it. It's a DIY approach. So before there was anything else, there's this. And this is where most people start. So what are the costs? It can be as low as $0 if you're using your personal Google Form, Google account. And Square takes 2.6% on each plus 10 cent per transaction. A large number of us in the space still use this. It has registration capacity at some point, a little bit. You can create a Google form and ask people's information, parent name, kid's name. It's not the hardest thing. So you can make your own form. You can tie it into payment, have a QR code, family sign up. You cross-reference the list yourself. You have to do those things manually, but it can be done. And 0 monthly fee there if you're using your personal Google account. So yeah, the pros, free 99. And the learning curve is very low. Many of us have used Google products since our primary, secondary education. So you already know how to use it, and it works really well for just getting started. If you have 1 to 3 sites, if you are a team of 1, this might work really well for you. And if you're managing everything else manually as well, and it comes with no contract, no surprises, you don't have to lock into it. You use it as long as it works for you, and then you stop when it doesn't. The cons with this approach would be the connection between registration, payment, that doesn't exist. So you're going to have to do that manually. This does not scale well. So it doesn't have any integration with wait lists, capacity limits. Nothing is automated. The data lives in the spreadsheets, and that can quickly become unmanageable. The copy and pasting that you'll have to do with your roster data before a session is significant. And so you're going to pay for this, like everything you pay one way or another. With this one, you're paying in time. So what do you have an abundance of? I don't have a lot of time. I'm not even going to tell you what time it is right now. Because it's late. Because it's late. Because I don't have time to do this during the day. So, hey, but nothing but time, then number 10 is a solid start. As soon as you hire someone else, your second instructor, you start to scale. This starts to become a coordination issue. So yeah, if you're just getting started, it's your first year, let's get started, let's get going. And you can start here if you are thinking, well, I want to start using the system that I'm going to end up using a little bit later down the line. Then you might want to consider another option. But as soon as you start to scale, you have multiple sites. You have to pass this information on to someone else. Maybe you have to pay someone else. You start to build your team. This starts to not be the best option if you are looking to create systems that support scale. All right. So honorable mention, a little bonus if you stayed this long. Shout out to you. MROPS. MROPS. So MROPS is the new kid on the block. It stands for Enrichment Operations, and I'm the founder of it. Very cool. As you noticed all throughout this list, like none of these platforms are built for mobile kids enrichment. school base, you got a team. Is it more than just you? All right. There's a lot that goes into that. So, NROPS is made specifically for that small group of us, because we just have very specific needs, workflows, integrations that if if a solution is like 60% of what we need, I still have to do just as much work. It doesn't feel like the time saved that it should be, and I'm still paying just as much for it. So then I end up having to pay for more platforms and different tools, and it's just chaotic. So NROPS is the platform I built that just made me be happy to be in my business again. It is the only platform on this list built from scratch for independently owned multi-site, mobile school-based enrichment businesses. Online registration and payments, school partners have communication capabilities, and in a couple of months, we're actually going to have a partner portal. So parents have the portal and their own registration workflow, their own accounts, their own app. Our instructors also have an app. Your instructors have an app and their own mobile friendly experience where they can look at their curriculum and look at their pay stub and look at a proposed schedule and accept it or request changes made, look at their attendance, communicate with their supervisor, all those different things, or they complete their onboarding and training paperwork. It's all there. It's all there. Um, and we're developing the same thing for our partners. We find that in this business, partners need robust communication. So, where does that live? And until now, it lived like in your drive or something like that. But now, partners will have their own portal as well. Instructor management, as I mentioned, session and site operations, parent accounts at the platform level, event level data logging, multi-site operations dashboard. So when I log in, I see I have mine set to a calendar view, so I can see, okay, where are my programs that are being taught Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday of this week. I could do it by the month. I can do it at the list view. I can see who's teaching where. I can see at a glance what curriculum is being taught where. Everything, how many students per week, anything at a glance I can easily see. Anything that is flagged for my attention, I don't have to go and look for that. It is already brought to the forefront for me. So if registration is low, or I need to send a follow-up message or a flyer, that NROPS automatically generates for me with the proper program information and sends it to the partner for approval. All of those things are living within the platform. So it's great. I don't have to send the roster to the partner site because it lives on NROP. So it can do that for me. They can access it in real time with the most live up-to-date data. So if a student gets added or leaves at the after the start of the program, I don't have to then redo that manually. It's always live for the partner to see in real time. So yeah, it's amazing. And cool. So what are the pros? It's the only platform built specifically for independently owned multi-site enrichment businesses. School partners are first-class records in the system, so they are not built in or thought of as an afterthought. Instructor management is built intentionally from moment one, from them doing their paperwork all the way to getting paid and having their, end of year tax documents. Like all that lives there. So excited for that. And oh yeah, and it's built by one of us. It's built by a team who lives this stuff. So our workflow every week is, okay, we experience these things in the business, in our STEM kids enrichment business. And we're like, oh, we should add this to NROPS. And that's exactly what we do. Oh, wow. Okay. We want to make all the schedule for fall. Well, what's the first step of that? Well, we have to get all the school calendars. Oh, wait, I wonder if NROPS could do that. Boom. So now you don't have to manually do that. No, NROPS has all the calendars for everything. So it doesn't create a schedule for you on a Tuesday when school's actually closed. So those little details that really matter. Yeah, so cute little stuff. Cons, none. Hmm, just kidding. Cons would be that We're brand new. So yeah, brand new, brand new. And you don't know what you don't know. So yeah, limited history there. The feature set, although we have a roadmap to, build it out to be its full, robust, in all its glory platform, it still is in our initial platform phase. We are only opening it up to a small user base. So very likely that when you do go to the platform and you try to sign up, you may be placed on a wait list until we're ready. We want to make sure that we're not adding people before we are as certain as possible that the platform is ready for the additional value. We do not have a marketplace discovery. And for us, this is by design. We're built for operators who already have those school community relationships, and we're made for the enrichment entrepreneur. Like, I don't want to be on a platform for registration where this platform is already taking my money, taking my money for registration, and then has the gall to send a message to a family that only got on the platform because I do my registration through this platform. And a lot of times that is how families enter these platforms, these marketplaces. Oh, my kid's basketball coach said, this is where registration is, so I have to do it that way. And then I get this marketing email that says, oh, you might want to do this program and this program and this program. And that program could be another basketball program in the community. And maybe that day, oh, that works just a little bit better for my schedule, or maybe it's a mile closer. And so I don't want my patronage to be rewarded with marketing to my customers with competing services. And other users have cited that with different platforms that double as discoverable marketplaces. And also a con with NROPS is if you need compliance reporting for government funded programs, I don't think this is the best tool for your needs yet. So it works well for independently owned enrichment businesses operating more sites than a person solo is doing. So maybe 5 to 50 plus sites. A person who has a team or is getting ready to expand to have a team, and for a business owner operator who wants efficiency, that's who it's for. And it's not the right fit for studio-based businesses where students come to you. I think Jackrabbit or iClass Pro at this time in 2026 serve that model better. If you're like a boutique fitness studio, MindBody has that on lock. So yeah. And we're also just not the right fit if you district funded program and you need that robust government reporting. That's probably not it. Well, that's probably not the best fit. That's not it. That's probably not the best fit. So the bottom line with NROPS, yep, I'm biased. I built it. So take it with a grain of salt. That's why I waited till it was last. Like, this wasn't even in the list of 10. I reviewed the 10. I'm gonna throw a wild card in there. I'm gonna give you a little bonus. And yeah, like, I built it in my business. We're the case study. I didn't share it. I didn't tell anybody about it until money was saved, time was saved, and we started making more money. That is when I knew, like, wow, we're onto something here and we got to share it. So yeah. And I'm really excited to see like what the community impact will be on businesses who use NRAPs this year and beyond. So excited to share that with the community moving forward. And just, a final note on how to use this list. Like, the right tool for you depends on where you are. And none of these options were just solidly like best for every use case. Every option serves their target user very well, and everyone else, there's some complications there. So you have to discern what you need. Are you that facility based sports business? Are you really heavy in conferences and complex registration needs? Whatever rang true to you, then I would implore you to go do some research if you're looking for different platforms and, try different things out. And if people have different options that they really like, let us know. Let the community know. That's it. All right. Thanks for sticking with me. If you stayed this far, shout out to you. And I will see you all next time. Bye. And one more thing, remember, I'm building NROPS, finally, an all-in-one platform built specifically for kids enrichment, entrepreneurs, and operators. We're talking everything all in the same place. Finally, from scheduling to instructor management to partner and parent communication to onboarding and registration, all of it. I built it because we need it. So go to getinrops.com to get on the list. See you next episode. And that's a wrap. Know someone who needs to hear this episode? Share it because
Sharing is caring.
if this episode earned it, give us all the stars in a review on whatever platform you're listening on because it helps other enrichment entrepreneurs find this show.
Until next time, keep learning, keep building.